Andrea, you just passed the test a little while ago. How do you feel passing the PMP?
It is a relief. It's something I worked very hard for. I took it last year and I failed. I failed very bad. It was frustrating because I didn't even know how to study for it. I went through one of those 4-day courses and honestly, it was just frustrating. I found your course. And I have to say that at first I was thinking, how can I follow this? How can this work without memorizing? But it does. If you stick with it, it does. And it was such a relief, such an accomplishment. I can check it off and I can move on. And let's see how it can get used now. So it's
that's good. All right, let's talk about, like you said, hey, how could this work? How could I get through without memorizing? Like, what were you thinking before? You were like, hey, I have to memorize it. I have to take all these books and put them in between my ears. What were you thinking previous?
I was really thinking that the knowledge area and the process group areas are the areas I really have to memorize, the inputs and the outputs. And I have to say some of it I may have memorized just because when you're listening to your recordings, it's getting processed in your mind. And I think the second thing that was very important, and I say this to other people when I talk about the course, is that you're teaching us how to break down the questions. And once we understand how to break down the questions, why we're asked what we're asked, and the roles of the project manager, roles of the facilitator or the product owner, and all of that. Once we understand that, it opens up everything just falls into place and the bell goes off. I also found it, if I might say, that I do recommend, I tell people, finding a partner in this program. There was a lady, she and I hooked up. We kind of befriended each other. We said, let's meet 2 times a week and kind of simulate the same thing that Scott, you do, and our coaches do. And I would go over 60 questions and we don't end it there. You go over it, you see how you did, you take your errors, your mistakes, and you go back over it. And you reading it over and over again, doing it over again. The next day she would do one. This is how we got to understand what's going on. And the bell just goes off. It really does.
And so you guys became kind of your own teachers. You teaching to each other and listening. And I mean, there's like a certain caring for the other person in a sense to like taking the time, understanding them. Am I wrong? Like, what was going on? How did you find this person? Like, I mean, it happens a lot in our thing and we're trying to simulate it. But talk me through it. Like,
I reached out to her after one of our sessions. I said, because I think somebody mentioned that you guys all stuck together and you were there for each other. So I thought, well, you kind of have to step out and do that, and we have a small group in the coaching sessions. And I think that's important. I think it's super important that you have your large group where it's the hard questions made easy, but then you have your coaching sessions and it's kind of a smaller group, and that's how you befriend each other. And so I text her and I said, hey, Julie, you want to get together, and we're not going to time each other. We're going to go through each and every question one by one. And I kid you not, it took 2 hours. By the time we got done, we were yawning. We were so tired, but we went over every question and we talked about it. And we thought about, hey, why do you say that? Or if we didn't know an answer, we'd look it up. If I didn't know one of the, a graph or something. And that's how we did it. And I have to say that on top of, but I still recommend everybody first go through your program, do all the videos, because a lot of the questions are answered in the videos. And then once you finish the videos, the faster you finish it, the way I keep up with this is by doing the 60 questions over and over again. And, stop worrying about the grade, because I don't know how high. My grade never made it to the 80. Okay. I got high 60 and I just kept going over it. And when I took the test, I didn't take the first break. At the second break, I got up, I went to I kept going. I went to my husband and I said, I don't think I'm getting this. I'm answering these questions, but honestly, I'm answering them logically. I'm answering them the way I learned, but I don't think I'm right. And then, and that was it. And I came back, I sat down, and it's true. You got to stretch. You have to breathe, relax, and keep going. And then I finished 20 minutes early. I went back and I didn't correct the first or the second, the 60, you do 60. I did the next 60. I didn't correct anything. The last 60, I went back because I had the time and I changed some things. I hit the button and I thought, this can't be. And then I just kept looking at it. And I'm like, are you sure? And, but what I realized is I understood the question. I understood what they were asking. And that's really thanks to the way you run the program, I have to say.
That's awesome. So, that's cool.
I mean, above,
what's that?
I mean, I got above
yeah,
average.
You were like, wait, like, yeah, it's getting a little out of control how many people get super above targets. But it's a good thing. Like, and I think it is from how to understand the questions, because if you can focus your efforts on the way we break things down and logically walk through it, and like you said, the roles, super duper important, like putting yourself in those shoes and saying, like, what is this person supposed to do? Like, how would they understand and react to the situation? Then it just becomes like your job. It's just like the work you do in real life. Like, you're just trying to operate in a positive way. And so the test becomes relatively easy because it is logical if you get down past all the other stuff. Why were you getting the PMP to begin with?
So part of the was my goal. I mean, I already have I have a doctoral degree in strategic foresight. So in leadership and strategic foresight. So I have a doctoral degree. I have, I just felt like it was going to complete it. Where I work, everybody does projects, everybody. There's no such thing. I mean, yes, I could go to the project management department, which this now opens up other opportunity. And that's one of the reasons I got it. I felt that this, on top of leadership, it was a perfect match. And it's something that I can take anywhere to any job, and it's internationally accepted. So if I ever had to travel or go overseas, I mean, and get a job somewhere, I can do it. So I did it for that. I did it for the fact that also my boss said, I want you to get it. And that was one of the reasons she hired me. But it wasn't mandatory, but it's something I've accomplished. And so, I mean, I finished it up. I think it was on Monday. By Tuesday, I already had a project at work that somebody recommended me for. So it's a small project, but nevertheless, because it's a project. So, and I have to tell you, the first thing I thought of when I got the project assignment is, okay, what do I need to do to collect all this information? I have to contact this department. And I went, wait a minute, stop. That's not project management. I have to facilitate this. And it hit me. I don't have to do that. I have to coordinate. I have to bring the departments together and come up with a plan to bring the project together to coordinate the different conferences, because we have a corporate calendar and we need to incorporate all the conferences from every department, because we're missing conferences. And that's not good. And I work in investor relations, so my conferences are okay, but another department has their conferences and we don't know about it. So, it's a project to come up with a calendaring, bring everybody together, collaborate. And I realized, wait a minute, I'm not the one doing the work. I'm going to be asking them to do the work. So it's a different mindset. And that's something I realized.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I mean, you did so amazingly. You pushed through. I loved how you leaned in at all levels. Like first of all, you stuck to the course. You followed it in the process, step by step. You went to my college, went to accountability college. You partnered up with Julie, and guys worked through it together. There's people out there that maybe aren't in the program. They don't know anything about what you're talking about. No big deal. From a mindset situation or perspective, they might be struggling. Like they stay for a month or a year or whatever, and they just can't get over the hump. What would be your advice to them? What would be your last minute recommendations so that they can kind of change their chances and get on a good path like you? What would you say to those folks?
It's not easy, but last minute recommendation, and I say it's not easy because we're all tempted to take notes, and that's something I
Yeah.
had to lay down for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but I would suggest stop everything. Stop.
Mm.
Just stop. Put it down, start fresh. Go through the program, do the 7 days, set a goal, set a time to take the test, map it out, how much time you have. Finish the program in 7 to 10 days, however long. It took me longer, as you know. I did not do it in 7 days,
Not a big
but I
deal.
finished it where then I had the rest of the time to work on the questions, the test, the simulator, and work with a partner. And that's what I would suggest. Put it down. Make notes on the side. Don't take notes like I did in the past. Pay attention. Really, truly watch the videos. And the thing is when I finished and I started doing the test and I started making my data dump, I realized where I was missing something. I would go back to your video. I mean, it's open. You go back, watch the video again. They're broken up into small pieces. Very easy to watch that section. And also go back over and study what you got wrong. But that's what they need to do. Forget the notes, right? You know, don't take extensive notes. Yes, write down little things, but pay attention to the videos. That is what I learned in all of this, because that's not my style.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I totally understand. Well, that's good. I appreciate you breaking it down and like you simplifying it. And like you're saying at the end, you started to compile up, these are the things on your evaporating data dump that you didn't know. Then you just one by one went and tried to find them in the videos. Maybe talked to Julie, whoever, you just went through in there. And did you ever feel 100%, or was it, I mean, people always say, hey, when am I going to know that I'm 100% ready? Like, how did you, or did you feel ready?
I felt I was ready. Ready or not, I had to take it. I mean, I was committed to the time.
Yeah.
But I felt that I was ready as I started to see my grades improve slightly. But not just that, but I understood the questions. Once I understood why I answered what I answered, whether it was correct or incorrect, then I knew I was ready. I also think it's important for people not to get stuck in memorizing like the earned value. Yes, understand it. But I didn't feel it was necessary to memorize any kind of a whatchamacallit, formula.
Like template or anything. Yeah, like some
Yeah,
formula.
template or formula. Yeah. I think understanding it is what you need, because I would get those answers right. And I didn't even quite always understand what they were asking, but I was able to look at the answers and I knew what answer was ridiculous. So that's how I did it. I'm not the test is not easy. I think that if people don't understand how to break down the questions and decipher them, it's hard. But once you get that, you almost want to say, okay, I got this. I got this. There was a period where my computer went out because I took this online. I went through the first 60 and all of a sudden my computer goes black.
Yeah.
And I'm going, oh my goodness. And I started talking to them because they're still recording you. I said, something's wrong, help. And it rebooted and it picked up exactly where it left off.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, but you got to be prepared. You do, to have the phone numbers handy and everything. But it went well. It went well.
That's awesome. Well, it's good that you're able to maintain composure. When it went black and came back, a lot of people would have got sidetracked on that, but you did well. All right. Well, this is awesome. I really, really appreciate it. This won't be the last time we talk. We are sad that you won't be in class anymore, but it's good that we know why, that you passed and it's over and you're on to the next thing. So if there's anything that you can ever think about that we could help you with, please let us know. My team and I would love to help you more. So, and keep us informed on how projects go and stuff, because that's more exciting than even the PMP, is just to see how you progress and do well in your career. So
absolutely. Good job. I appreciate it. And I have been passing it on to many people. And I hope that you can get more people signed up for the program.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Well, have a great weekend and I will talk to you soon. Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye.